Welcome. So this video is going to be, I don't know, it's going to be a mutt, I guess. And I might have to put it on pause a few times. Well, my dogs start barking, then, I normally put it on pause if it gets too bad. But I do have a meatloaf in the oven. Got off work and went ahead and decided I wanted a meatloaf. So, anyways, I'll have to check on that. Then I have a friend that's going to stop over and pick something up. So, yeah, got a lot of things going, but I thought I would go ahead and try to attempt to do a video. Again, last minute, and I'm just going to throw a bunch of stuff together. So, anyways, I did say in one of my community posts that and even on my last video, I took last week off. It was spring break, and I was going to have a teenager in the home. Not my child. All my children are, I've already said before, they're grown and they live out of state, but I did have a minor in my home. And I had half of this week off. So I spent way too much time on YouTube. I did. And I kind of went around the YouTube streets and was looking. I talk about behaviors, so I can't talk about what I don't know, right? And I done a little bit of investigating, I guess you would say. But anyways, I was really curious about certain things, and so like I said, I spent way, way, way too much time on YouTube. And I found it really ironic that a lot of people that would talk about Natasha, how she would be on YouTube all the time, right? Not spending time with her family and yada yada yada, how she didn't do this and didn't do that. And they say the same thing now because, Natasha is doing her own thing. Now, I don't know what's all going on with Natasha. I did go into her chat, and I will chat over there here and there. I've said it many times that I'm not lucky enough to catch a lot of chats. But everybody was nice, if they welcome me in their chats and I'm able to catch a chat, I'll go and I'll chat. But um, she's not, as far as I know. I know that there's like a something going on with another creator that she used to be friends with. I don't know all what's going on with that. First one to say that. But she's not going the tit for tat with everybody else in this shit circle, okay? Like it used to be. And, people would say, and I even done some videos on Natasha, pointing out, just like with some other people, pointing out some of the things that, the behaviors that I didn't like. And I also stood up for her when I thought people were doing her wrong. I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, but a lot of people would degrade her about, well, she's on YouTube all the time, and talk about her family. They did. A lot of people were always talking about her niece, who's a minor, which is totally wrong, right? And talking about her adult children. Again, totally wrong. Talking about her partner. Totally wrong. And she put out there that, this was her job. This was her income. They do the same with Granny, right? That, she's on YouTube all the time. They talk about her kids and her parenting all the time. They talk about her living arrangement all the time. They did that with Natasha as well, right? They were talking about her living in a double wide, like degrading it. And I've said it multiple times. It does not matter where you live, as long as you got a roof over your head or your living arrangements. You know, whose business is it? And I've said this in videos in the past. Whose business? And I'm probably not even saying this right. I'm tired. It was a long day. You'll just have to excuse me. But really, whose business is it of anybody else? You know, you're not paying their bills. What should you care? But these two people I've noticed are the ones in this drama circle for a little over a year that I've been a creator. I've said it before too. I've been watching a lot longer than that. But well, when it came to Natasha, I guess Granny, you know, she's been a creator, you know, before me. But anyways, everybody wanted to talk about their family, their kids, their living arrangements. But when they wanted to clap back and say, well, some of y'all don't even have custody of your kids, then all of a sudden, these people are like, oh no, you're talking about my kids. Now, some people are going to probably go after me and say, oh no, you're talking about my kids, you're talking about kids. Well, if you want to say that, go for it, because we know how people want to twist things. And everybody that listens to me knows I don't go after kids. I don't go after looks. I don't bash, okay? I hardly ever well, I might say shit, damn. I don't F-bomb, okay? I do. In my personal life, I just don't do it on the tubes for a reason, okay? But I'm not going after anybody's kids, and I think that there is a difference. There is a difference. I mean, I don't like this tit for tat when children are involved, even really when it comes to parenting. All right, I really don't like that. But I think it's really now beyond that. I mean, what we're seeing now on the YouTube streets, even when it comes to body shaming, which I don't like, I think that's the least of our worries, right? But when you're going after somebody and going after their kids, and these two ladies, I'm sorry, you guys have went after their kids personally, not just their parenting. You've talked about their children, right? And used it for content. All right? That's the fact. Not just their parenting. And I know there's some other creators where their kids have been a target, not just these two ladies. But we're going to stick with Natasha and Granny because that's where I've seen it the most. And also about their living arrangement, who they may be sleeping with, who they're not sleeping with, their partners, yada, 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 yada. And also their money, okay? What you know, what they might be getting on donations, what they might be spending it on, you know. So yes, they have came back and said, you know, for those that are so worried about my children, the ones that are talking, you don't even have yours. Now, here's the thing. Some people share too much, and the only way that a lot of people know about custody cases, or if somebody doesn't have custody, or what's going on, is because these people have shared it, either with someone privately who they thought were their friends, right? Or they shared it, you know, openly on YouTube that, hey, this is what's going on. I've said before, some people just share too much, or, they think somebody's their friend. But we see all the people falling out, I'm sorry, all the time. And then what happens when you have a falling out? Most of the time, that person that you thought that was your friend is going to turn on you, and they're going to your enemy, and they're going to leak it all out about your private life, and then it gets out there that, what's going on. I mean, that some of the personal stuff that you got going on in your life, share it with your family, share it with your real life friends, not strangers on the internet. I do get it that you might make, some good friendships, and you want to talk to, people or whatever. But this is what happens, right? So anyways, like I was saying, these ladies, we know it's true, whether people want to, if you don't like Natasha or if you don't like Granny, you have heard people going at their parenting or their living arrangement. So when they go back at other people and say, you don't even have your kids, then these other people are screaming, they're going after my kids. Then why don't you shut up about their parenting? Because both of these ladies have their children, right? That's clear. They both have their kids. I mean, we hear Natasha with her family. I mean, and say what you want, but she will stop talking on her lives to, to her subs to interact with her family. She does. And with Granny, once in a blue moon, you will hear a child, and she'll mute and speak with her child. And then a lot of people were saying, she lives in the basement because when she was going back and forth, the foul language and all that stuff, in my opinion, she was doing the responsible thing and not F-bombing and doing all that stuff in front of her kids. I mean, some creators might want to be F-bombing in front of their young ones, but she was going in an area to where they weren't hearing it. I mean, come on. You guys make no sense. And then some people, right? Some people that are saying she lives with her parents, which you have no idea some people should, because, she did get doxxed, and a picture of the house was shown when Mandy did that, the diagram or whatever. Some people that say they have brains should know, but they don't. They still want to say, she lives in her attic. No, she lives in a basement. Now she lives in the garage. Again, it's none of your damn business. But some of the same people that are saying that has even put out that they're grown adult children live in their home. So what difference does it make? I mean, all this is just nonsense, okay? It's nonsense as it is. But anyways, moving along, because we are going to talk about a little bit on parenting. And this was one of the things. The people that are screaming the loudest, a lot of them don't even have their kids. And that has been a fact, right? It's been a fact. Now, what I did on my time off is I did go look And I went weeks back and weeks back, and I looked at replays, and I looked at this week. But, you know, I looked and looked and looked. Like I said, I shouldn't have spent way too much time on the tubes. And you would see in a community, right? A lot of these people have stated that they have youngins in the home. Some of them have even stated that they have jobs. And either A, it's not true, they don't have jobs, and they can't have youngins in the home, or B, well, they still can't have jobs, or youngins are getting neglected by a parent. I'd say a parent. A lot of people are also saying, you know, they have spouses or whatever. There's got to be a lot of neglect going on because of YouTube. And that's a fact. It's got to be a fact. Because when I went and looked, and anybody's welcome to do what I did. I don't recommend it. Absolutely don't. But you would have a live going on first thing in the morning, right? Forever how long, okay? And they're basically talking about the same person, same situation going on in these YouTube streets. And then when they were done, another live, you might have a little tiny break, right? Another live would spark right back up by another creator, right? Same community, another creator. And everybody that was in that chat would swoop over on that live, and then you would get some other people, of course, right? Some of the same up on panel. And they would talk about the same thing. Maybe add a few more things, right? Add a few more things. But basically, it's about the same thing that the other creator just ended with, okay? Then when that live ended, another creator, same community, would start up another live that would go on for a few hours or so, maybe even longer. Could be maybe 3 or 4 hours. And all of the same people would swoop over to that one. Same people, maybe a few extra, you know, maybe a few dropped, but they're in chat. Talk about the same subject. This would go on all day, all night, right? Until about 2 in the morning, maybe 1 in the morning, sometimes even longer. Until the next morning, first thing in the morning again. All right. And then repeat from the next day. Now, I have to say, sometimes it would be different, you know, but it would still go on. I mean, this was a pattern. And I'm sure if I would go even further than what I did, this is, you know, it would even, this is what it has been happening for, you know, at least as long, I'm sorry. Got really dry mouth. This is an everyday thing, okay? Some might take a day off here and there. Maybe a few hour break. A few hour break. I did have to put that on pause. I had to turn my corn on the cob on and check my email. But But what I'm saying is, I'm sure if I even looked further, this was just for like a couple of weeks. And I give you that it, like I said, it could have, it can change a little bit to where not as many creators went on daily. But basically, yeah. And then at the end of the night, a creator will go on for, 3, 4, sometimes even longer at night to finish off the night. So for people that want to talk about other people's parenting or lack of parenting, right? Maybe they need to look at themselves. When you are on the net, on YouTube, in this drama circle, that much, are you kidding me? Because how in the world can you be on all day like that? I mean, from one to another, I mean, and this does not include, because I've said before too that I don't even know some of these new creators popping up that subs that decided they wanted to start a channel. I have no idea. So they could be, having these are just some of the creators that I've noticed, and they started a live or whatever, and I went and looked. So this doesn't include other creators that might have had a live too, or that might have had live other days where I thought maybe they were taking a break, or going on, like I said, hopping on other panels, or these mod chats that people talk about, which I know nothing about, behind the scene things going on. So how are some of these people able to parent children, get them off to school, or, when kids get home from school, make dinner, go to any school functions, school activities? I don't know. My kids were in basketball and stuff like that. And I'm talking to people that are in chat too, because they're always there. The same ones are always there. Now, I'm talking about the ones that say, they're talking about, yeah, I have kids at home and I do this and I do that. And, Granny, she's a shit mom. Or they were talking about Natasha being a shit mom. But how can you be in chats all the time? Now, some people say that they're at work on YouTube. I guess you can. Some jobs you can be at work on YouTube. But every day you can be at work and be on YouTube. Okay, I guess that could be possible. I don't know. I can't with my job. I can take I made a comment, I think it was yesterday, I was on break. Normally I don't do that. If I'm at work, even on break, I take my break. But I did make a comment yesterday when I was on break. But the point is, a lot of people say that, they have spouses and stuff. I mean, how do you spend any time, or a partner, how do you spend any time with your partner or spouse, or any family time at all, when you're in chat modding day and night, all day long? But you want to talk about other people's parenting, right? I don't know. Now, Natasha, when she did videos, she wasn't on there from morning until night. She did what? One video a day, maybe two for a couple of hours. And she wasn't on there 24/7 because she didn't go hardly ever to, other people's channels. She did not go up on panel. She didn't. And Granny doesn't go on every night. That's a fact. On weekends, she doesn't go on every weekend. I don't think she goes on the weekend hardly ever. And people might want to say, oh, no, that's not true. Because I heard Lycan say that she does lives more than anybody or something like that. That's false. That is not true. He does more lives than she ever does. Now, I do get it that a lot of creators are doing this for a job, for money. I get that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. This is their income, right? But a lot of the people that are up on panel or in chats and stuff, you're not getting paid for it. But who's really suffering, right? Who's really suffering? I was just amazed when I went back and looked at replays. And some of the replays, there's a few of them where you can't look at chat for some reason. I look at my phone. I'm too lazy to get it out my computer, my laptop, when I want to look at YouTube. And I have my TV here. I can look at YouTube on it, but I was looking at my phone. So some of them, I have to say that I couldn't even look at the chat, but the majority of them I could, and it's the same ones. And they hop from here, hop from there, all over the place. Day in, day out, night. And some of the people, and this is where the problem lies too. Some of the people are saying that, I don't know what I'm going to do. I have a hardship. I don't know what, I need money. I'm struggling. I don't have this and I don't have that. But yet they are on the tubes 24/7 besides a short amount of time to sleep maybe. Right? And they will drop a Cash App or something. And like I said, the majority of the creators that are doing this, they're doing it for an income to pay bills, right? But some creators, instead of maybe trying to build your channel, you're defending your friends because you say you're going to defend them to the end, instead of worrying and trying to build your own channel, or not, putting all your time into defending your friends. You're just dropping your Cash App saying, I need help. I need this or that paid. But you're spending day and night on YouTube, hopping here, hopping everywhere. And if you can do that, then there's all sorts of different ways to make money, to help out your family. If you're a smaller channel, I know that there's not really any big channels on YouTube, right? There's not. Well, in this drama circle, not big channels. But I'm talking about smaller channels. Instead of just saying, I have a need, here's my Cash App. Work on trying to build your channel instead of spending all day and night trying to defend your friend. Because there is creators out there that have made it big. They've went viral or whatever, and they're making damn good money. But it takes a lot of work to get there, right? And what's the chances of, getting there? I mean, I don't think a lot of them are like in the drama community that have made it big. But there's a lot of people, like I said, that are in need, but they're too worried about panel hopping just to talk shit about people and saying, I'm in need. I need this paid. I need that paid. It makes no sense. So we're going to move past that. It's bizarre. Like I said, if people want to say I'm talking about kids, no, that's not talking about kids. It's really not me talking about parenting. I'm not pointing out anybody's parenting. I'm just saying, it's obvious. If you aren't even taking a break on YouTube, how are you doing anything with any kids? Who is suffering here? And how can you talk about someone else's parenting, right? When it's clear that there's no way you could be doing anything. You can't be doing anything with your own if you are on YouTube 24/7, besides that little time to sleep, and then you get back up and you're on another panel. I mean, you can do what you want. It's your life. But you have no room to talk about how someone else parents their kids. You don't. And then when you want to yell that, well, they're coming after my kids, they're talking about my parenting, well, stop talking about theirs. Right? And it can go both ways. It absolutely can. But that's where the tit for tat keeps coming back. Well, they talked about mine. Well, you've been talking about theirs for over a year because I've heard it. Like I said, I've heard it with them talking about Natasha's. I've heard it with them talking about Granny's. And then, yes, they will say, I've heard them both say, well, you guys don't even have your kids. I've heard it. I don't agree with all this talking about people's kids. I don't. But anyways, we're going to move on from that. Okay? We got a lot of people in uproar. I had to pause it again, checking on the food. People in uproar about donations. Okay? So I've said before that, oh my goodness, most creators, and you're going to hear my dog hacking, he just got a drink of water. Most creators, and I know I still haven't monetized, and I don't have a Cash App, and I don't have PayPal up, and it is what it is. That's just something I chose not to do yet. I could have been monetized 6 months ago. I just chose not to yet, okay? It's no big deal. Most creators do. They're doing this for, to make extra money, or they're doing this for an income. If you like their content, their community will donate. They will do super chats, or they do memberships, or they just donate to their PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App, or whatever. It's nobody's business, right? It's nobody's business. So say they have a vacation fund or whatever fund, okay? Who cares? So let's say that they decide that they didn't take that vacation yet, or they didn't do this yet, or didn't do that yet. And maybe it got postponed, but they're still taking a vacation. Is it dictated when they have to take vacation? I mean, first off, if you're not even in their community, and now I already said before, certain things, like if there's an illness or something like that, yeah, you should be transparent about it. But if you don't put a timeline on there, or even if you do, things can change, right? A sickness, or maybe you didn't raise enough funds, or maybe the weather's bad, or whatever. It could be taken at another time, and as long as their subs are okay with it, then it's none of your business. Now, there are certain things that can be caused, like I said, if there's a sickness, or the funds were supposed to go towards, teeth, or a wedding, or, something like that. Now, a wedding can get postponed, right? Then that's fine. But if it's like, for teeth and they didn't get purchased, then ask your subs, hey, guys, do you want your money back? I don't know why you wouldn't go ahead and purchase those. But as long as you ask your subs, hey, I didn't, buy what I was supposed to buy with it, and your subs told you to go ahead and keep the money, it's fine. That's kind of like with Noodle Mash, right? She raised money to get a vehicle, but she didn't raise enough. She didn't put a time limit on when to get a vehicle. So would that be saying, okay, I'm going to have to give this money back for the vehicle because I didn't raise enough? No. Still doesn't mean that. She keeps that money, right? It's only fair. She keeps that money until she gets enough to get the vehicle she's supposed to get. We have to be fair all the way around, right? It seems like a lot of people, in my opinion, are jealous of what other creators are getting. In my opinion, just my opinion, they're still jealous of Natasha because she has a strong community. She does. Even though her channels have been taken down. And I just wanted to kind of clear this up because I also heard Lycan say that Granny was the sole person on taking Natasha's channels down. Really? Because if I remember right, when Natasha was talking about a lot of that, I know she said that she was being mass reported, and there was a lot of information because she was saying Kim and Crafton, she had a lot of screenshots of Kim and Crafton, and I remember Kim and Crafton talking a lot about taking her channels down in different ways and yada yada, and she had a lot of screenshots of them because she was asking people to send her stuff that they were saying and doing, and I know Crafton's channel is down now. So that's just kind of blew me away that he would tell his community that Granny was the one solely responsible for having her channels taken down. Granny did say she has never struck anybody. Anyways, only Natasha can really, it happened to her. So she's the only one that can really verify if she has a bunch of stuff that, Kim and Crafton has done behind the scenes that she has information on, of what they said. I mean, I remember them saying a bunch of stuff, and, even after her channels went down, they would keep talking and streaming on her and yada yada. But anyways, a lot of people, like I said, they seem to be so upset because of some strong communities. And what I mean by some strong communities, Natasha is one. Even with her channels down, and she rebuilds and brings up another channel, and people want to say, oh, ban evading. And I even said something about it before. But the thing is, who cares? Who cares? In my opinion, almost everybody goes against TOS somehow, some way, right? With name calling, bullying, attacking, going after somebody. Who cares? Striking, misusing the reporting system, just, tweeting like crazy. Trying to get channels down now. When, you guys were as nasty as can be, but now you're trying to clean up those channels, right? And all you did was talk about, the money. CJ's one of them. Now, I liked CJ, but I could never understand why she had the falling out with Natasha again. And, after she went over there, and Natasha and her daughter paid for, well, I think it was like what? I don't even know how much it was. Good chunk of money for her to get teeth. Right? For CJ to feel better about herself. That was a very nice thing to do. After CJ, they would go tit for tat back and forth, right? Before this happened. And out of the goodness of Natasha and Natasha's daughter's heart, they gave CJ money, a good chunk of money, to buy teeth. And then for whatever reason, I can't remember, they had a falling out again. And CJ has done nothing since but go hard after Natasha, calling her every name in the book. And for the longest time, Natasha hasn't really been part of the drama in this drama circle, but CJ would still go hard after Natasha. And if anybody would go over in Natasha and talk and chat, just because there would be an issue in this circle, CJ didn't like that. Kim and Crafton didn't either. They would say, that people were running to the enemy, bootlicking, crap like that. When people were just wanting to know what's going on in this community. Let's talk about it, because Natasha does have a big following. She hasn't lost any of that. She's not going to lose it. No matter how many people want her to lose it, she ain't going to lose it. She's got a strong community. Granny has a strong community, right? Granny can be talking about, she doesn't have to even be talking about drama. And she still has quite a few people in the box chatting. And they donate. I don't want to say donate. They send super chat. They got memberships, whatever. And that upsets people. But people enjoy listening to Granny. People enjoy listening to Natasha. There's people that enjoy listening to Lycan. So the thing is, people get upset because when certain people do drop a vacation fund, or I'm doing this fund, and it gets met or whatever, then people have a hissy because their community isn't doing the same thing. I don't even know what to say. You just don't have a strong enough community, maybe? Don't know. Or maybe they're just sitting with you because they had a falling out. We're going to talk about this. They had a falling out with Natasha or Granny and they go running elsewhere, right? Because I feel like that's what happened with Country Joe. Now, why, like I said, why would you be so nasty to Natasha and call her a scammer again when you were fine with her? You were fine when that money was being donated, right? But now you're calling her a scammer again. See, that makes no sense to me. Now it's back to, scammer, scammer, scammer. Because now we're seeing her doing that with Jessica Lynn. None of this makes sense. And people were saying, because Granny went over to Natasha's and was chatting in Natasha's for a few, and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, she's over with the enemy. They're besties. Just because she goes over there and chats for a few does not mean that they're besties or that they're going to be like, I don't know, maybe they made peace. I don't know. But the thing is they say that they're hate bonding or whatever. What do you think each and every one of you guys did and are doing? As soon as you left Natasha's, right? Where did you run? Or when you left Granny's, where did you run? You guys all ran to someone that you said you would never go to because your morals would not allow you to do it. For what, everything that you stood for. But where did you go? Right? Where are you at? You went running to the enemy. You went running to somebody that did and says some horrific things. Because they might say, I'm sorry, every time they keep doing the same behavior over and over again. As long as they say sorry right after they show or do the same thing over and over again, it makes it okay. But every single one of you has hate bonded with somebody, right? Immediately. But just because someone else might want to go and say, hey, some of the things that I did, I shouldn't have went that hard. Or I'm seeing what you have went through. Because I can say myself, because yes, I have called out some behaviors on Natasha that I thought was not okay. Some of the bashing. But I know she got bashed, right? She was retaliating. I didn't think some of it was okay. But I also defended her when a lot of the stuff was done to her. But I thought that douche canoe was fake because it seems so bizarre, right? That this person was harassing her every day. Every day when she was talking about money or whatever, and then as soon as this douche canoe came up, she would get donations. I was completely wrong. I have to admit, I was completely wrong. Douche canoe was real. It was Tucker. I thought, and yes, most of my videos I say in my opinion because I don't know them to be fact. I thought Mandy, back when I first seen Mandy, I thought she was being used for fake drama. Right? Because drama sells. I was completely wrong. Mandy was actually going after Natasha and doing some horrific things. And I thought to myself, how could Natasha ever allow this person near her after all the things that she said and wanted to do to her family? And then you have, I did a video on this person Because I'm thinking to myself that, Natasha might have this, tax issue, right? Because Kim and Crafton put out a video of this woman going to, the mailbox with this tax stuff that she's sending. And I'm thinking, this was early on when I first started my channel. Nobody's going to fake things like this. I didn't know that some of y'all are just nuts. And so Kim and Crafton put out that video. And I'm like, no one's going to fake sending the IRS anything. This has got to be real, And Natasha's channel is in this person's name, and they're going to be stuck with this tax bill. Again, I was wrong. Kim and Crafton, they just put this person on their panel and was blaming Natasha for having this fake person. And then you have this person literally going to Natasha's house and flipping her house off with the bird, right? Scary shit. Going to her house just to flip her off the bird, the house, the bird, and made it her profile picture. I was wrong. I'll admit it. Natasha had a lot of this crap happening to her. But some people just hate her too much, right? That they hate Bond. They don't like the money that she gets. You can't hate the player, hate the game. She was making an income. A lot of people make an income doing YouTube. They do it with TikTok, right? They do it with, I don't know, these other platforms. There's nothing wrong with it. Some people might disagree and say, you hear a lot of people, they say, get a job, go get a job. But the same people that are screaming that, get a job, they don't have a job outside of, YouTube. Isn't that bizarre? The same ones yelling that don't even have one. I've always found that bizarre. I've also found it bizarre the same people talking about hate bonding are the same ones that hate bonded. Or you go running if someone has a falling out. I made a community post about it. Somebody, a creator or two creators have a falling out and they go running. I said, you guys must have each other on speed dial or a mod chat or whatever. And as soon as you see two people have a falling out, the person you don't like, you go running to the other person because you're all in their chat, right? All of y'all. And you want the dirt on them. And that other person, they'll release it. We'll see how quick CJ gets thrown under the bus. And what I don't get is these same people that are with CJ right now, just a few days before CJ went over there, I was seeing where the majority of them were saying they don't trust CJ. She's a flip-flopper. They were calling her some pretty bad names about her, body shaming. They were saying they don't like her. They never liked her. Okay? She's a joke. And even that profile, what was it? Country Joke, all of a sudden disappeared. Don't see that now that CJ's in there. Isn't that convenient? You guys are fake. You're so fake. This is not how real life works, okay? You guys are living in make-believe land, messing with real people's lives. You do a lot of dirt behind the scenes. We already seen how some of y'all, I mean, some of ya, and I'll address this in another video, said about the chat that we seen where, you know, that little certificate about taking channels down, and you're all giggling and saying, we didn't use anything to take a channel down, show proof of it. And then some in that community said, well, if there's no victim, there's no crime. Well, that's not true. I mean, wearing your seatbelt, you know, if you don't wear your seatbelt, that's a crime. There's really no victim. I mean, I guess you can consider yourself a victim, right? But it's still a crime not to wear a seatbelt in most states, if not all. Not sure about if all, but most states, it's still a crime not to wear a seatbelt. Drinking under the age of 21 is a crime in most states, if not all. Unless you consider yourself the victim. Who's the victim for drinking under the age of 21? If you're not driving, I'm just talking about, you know, public intoxication, you know. Who's the real victim? But that's what they wanted to use. If there's no victim, there's no crime. But it shows what they were doing behind the scenes. They were doing dirty stuff. They were saying, one of them was saying, I've taken a lot of channels down, right? That's what they were saying. And they were plotting. They were even doing it to show on Country Joe. That's who they were showing how easy it is to do, to strike or whatever a channel. So what if they didn't do it? If they didn't do it, or they're saying, well, somebody show or prove that it was done to them. What they were showing is that, hey guys, this is how we can do it. But see, nobody in that community cares, right? That what they were trying to plot or trying to do was something that was, you know, illegal, I think, or not morally right. That they were not trying to do it in the right way. There's a right way to report something that should be reported. We're all adults here, right? We know that if something is horrible and should be reported on YouTube, not just, I don't like you, I'm just going to keep striking and get your channel down because. But they were trying to do dirty shit behind the scene. But, of course, some of them want to say, oh, it was satire. It was, you know, joking around. No, it wasn't. You guys, that's your go-to for every single thing. That's your go-to. And you know it's bullshit. Okay? You know it's bullshit. And that bullshit is going to come to an end at some point. Or shit talk. It was shit talk. I've seen that a lot too. No, it wasn't shit talk, okay? You guys were literally trying to find a way to be able to take other channels down. And some of you people that are like, you know, I'm not a bully. I don't bully people. And, you know, I don't believe in doing this and doing that. You guys were okay with that because, you know, you said if there was no victim, there's no crime. Ha ha, laughing emoji. So you're okay with that because it was people you're friends with, you sit with. But if it was other people that you don't like, that you've seen all that go on behind the scenes, you would have had a shit fit. Okay? And you know it. You have no morals. All right? You won't call out anything that people do that you sit with. You will call out everything else that anybody else does, no matter how minor it might be, or how it might get twisted. I don't want to say minor, but it could be twisted into something it's not to make it huge. You'll call that out. But you will not call out anybody you sit with. You'll say, well, I don't agree what some people say. And that's where it ends, right? But you have no problem making a video, a live, and calling everything else out. For content, of course. So we can get those super chats and donations coming in, so you'll call other people out. That's where your morals end. That's when, well, you just don't have any. Because if something is disgusting, had to put it on pause again. You know, kind of like when Natasha's pregnant daughter, when all that nasty stuff was wished on her, some of y'all sat on your hands, didn't say a word. Some of us called it out, right? We called it out. You know, like when TT's child, her deceased baby, was talked about. Some of y'all, again, zipped your lips and didn't say a word. Or how about just recently, again, Granny's son was talked about and her situation. It was said in such a disgusting way of what she does in the room with her child. Again, your lips are zipped and you consider that person a friend. It was just said, what was it, a couple of weeks ago? Yet again. But this person is trying to blame Natasha for saying it. Natasha never said that. That never came out of Natasha's mouth, what voices said. Okay? Just making that clear. But you guys won't call that out. You won't call it out. No. You won't say a word because, well, they're my friend. But we'll call out everything else. Oh, yeah, we will. Now we're going to talk about health a little bit. Because let me tell you something. You guys want to say that this person's faking this and this person... Let me tell you what. We know one person, they admitted to that they lied about having cancer. You guys all knew over there because she said it. Now you want to bring it up, you know. Oh, she faked cancer and she lied about it. You guys all knew about it. So you can zip it on that, okay? You knew about it. It was brought to your attention. All the stuff about her man, Jeff, her living with him. Y'all knew about that too. You're just bringing it all up now because you don't like her anymore. Y'all knew. Okay? Whatever. Y'all knew about it. But when you want to say that Granny never had cancer and you want, you know, yada, 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 unless you have her medical records in your hand, you need to zip it because you have no clue. None. Just like with Natasha. Natasha never said she had brain cancer. She said she had a pituitary issue. So unless people have Natasha's medical records in their hand, they need to zip it. Okay? Just saying. Just like any other creator out here that says they have an issue, right? Unless you have their medical records in your hand, you cannot say they're faking it. Unless you have somebody that says, I have a condition, right? We're just going to use a stupid thing here. And my son's, he has epilepsy. So I'm just going to say, if somebody is on camera and they say, I have seizures and I can show you, I'm going to You want to see me have a seizure? And everybody's like, well, yeah, let me see you have a seizure. And then they start convulsing and you can see that it's fake. Because they just told you that they can bring one on like that. That's not how it works, okay? So that's what I'm saying. I know that sounded really, really dumb. But unless you have their medical records in your hand, sitting in your hand, that's like telling some people that are saying they have bipolar or depression or that they're a suicide survivor, right? That none of that's true. None of it's true. And I know some people on this platform, right? In this platform, whatever, they have others attacking them and saying that they're, it didn't happen and whatever. And I get it, you're angry. But some of these same people that this happened to them or they have these illnesses, they are going around saying, as a fact, that these other people are faking theirs. Okay? So you know how it feels, right? You know how it feels to have other people tell you that your diagnosis or what happened to you, that you're faking it. So what gives you the right to go around and say that other people are faking theirs? Do you have their medical records in front of you, right? To say that what they're saying is not true. You don't. So again, zip it. For one, it's none of your damn business. And nobody should put out their medical records to prove anything to anybody. If no funds are going up, no funds are going up for these conditions, and there hasn't been. I think Natasha had one for a surgery that didn't happen. It was way back a long time ago, and I think only 2 mods donated. She said that her kids did not want her to have the surgery. It was a very little bit of money, okay? They told her to keep the money. End of story. Granny never had a cancer fund. That's a lie. Whoever, it's bullshit. It didn't happen. All right? It did not happen. I don't know of anybody else in this drama circle besides Dorothy had one for teeth that she said got knocked out when she had this episode, and I don't think she bought any teeth with it. I don't know. I don't watch Dorothy. Okay? I haven't looked at Dorothy's stuff for a long time. But besides that, I don't know of anybody else in this drama circle that has put out any health stuff. I could be wrong. Put out, that they needed funds for any health issues. But seriously, unless you have their medical records, can you say for a fact that these people do not have what they claimed they have? You can't. So quit putting it out there as a fact that it's not. And that includes everybody. Right? Everybody. It's absolutely getting ridiculous. This drama circle is a shit show. It really is. It's a shit show. People, the body shaming was enough. Making fun of people, the body shaming, the hate bonding is just insane. I mean, a lot of you guys, I'm sorry, but some of the things that people said about you, did to you, and when you have a falling out, the first people you go running to is the people that did this stuff to you, and you're all kumbaya, and you're part of that community, and then you just want to give all the dirt on the person you were friends with, that says a lot about you as a person, okay? Because if that's how you are in real life, then, like I said, says a lot about you as a person and who you are in real life. Because this all, like I said, is like make-believe. But I was all over the place. This was, again, a fly-by-night video. And I really don't care who likes who in this drama community. You can go wherever you want to go. I speak my truth and what I see. Some people might not like this person or might not like that person. They might think this person does this or does that or whatever. That's your choice, okay? Your choice. You can go wherever you want to go. It doesn't matter. I go wherever I want to go. I try to watch who I can, but like I said, there are so many new people popping up with channels now, and in my opinion, just my opinion, some people are trying to grow their channel, and they'll go wherever they can go to grow that channel. Get that 1K, that's so important, isn't it? That get that 1K and get monetized. Okay. But it doesn't mean you need to be... You can go where you want to go, but do you got to turn into a shit person? I mean, is that who you are in real life? A shit person? Do you want to go somewhere where someone was so nasty to you and put you in a dark place? And think back on, the people that actually did something for you or was there for you. That's what you got to think about. Think about, a little bit in the future. Who is actually there for you, kind to you, treated you well, and who hurt you, who put you in a bad place. I rambled enough. I think my dinner's almost done. Like I said, I was all over the place. Some people might agree with me. They might not. The only thing that I asked in comments on this video, I don't want any bad mouthing on any creator. Okay? I really don't. Not on this video. I really don't want a lot of bad mouthing. We're seeing that enough in this drama circle, right? So if we can just try to, in the comment section, not to really do a lot of bad mouthing on creators, just on this video, okay? Because it's ugly enough. We'll see that enough. But these are just my thoughts on what I have seen. And I know I was all over the place. I was just going to talk about, basically how you can, be a spouse or a partner or a parent and be on these YouTube streets 24/7 or hold a job. For some of the people that say they have a job, how can you be on here all the time like that? And then I just got derailed. But everyone have a good one. I'm going to go pull my meatloaf out of the oven and enjoy my evening.